What is up, everyone? I'm going to go ahead and just start this off by just saying, there are websites. I want to say Microsoft is specifically doing this, but there are websites out there that is offering storage online for certain things. Now, a couple of years ago, I did that for my Microsoft thing because I'm a very loyal I'm a very loyal user of Microsoft, even though I hate Microsoft. But I'm a loyal user because I've used them for so long. Though this was like way back in the day, you know what I'm saying? So it's not even like back when Hotmail and Microsoft and I think Live and all these other things, they were kind of like all separate things and ultimately became one big thing, or they've always been one big thing and I'm just not knowing about it now. The fact is that like I used these things, way back when, and I am loyal to them. So it kind of bums me out that I have to spend money in order to get space, which I'm not going to do. I will sooner just delete everything that I have before I give these a-holes more like any money. Like I already bought an Xbox from them. Okay, you're not, you know, like I shouldn't have to buy space or another word, Microsoft Word or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just no. But the fact is that like I did have like a whole bunch of old videos from like when I was younger that I had to get rid of because it was just basically saying, hey, you got too much stuff up in here. It's too much space. And I actually, back in the day, I used to use digital cameras to get my videos. And the thing about the digital cameras that I would use is I would just like there was a way to transfer into there was a way to transfer the stuff into a computer. But what I would do is because I didn't know how that process went, I would just put the camera into the computer and just manually move videos from raw footage into the camera from the camera to the computer, and they would be really big. And another thing was that like they would have two types connected to the video. So you would have .mov, which is the actual video, probably without sound, and .moi, which is the metadata of the video. Because everything kind of comes with like information when it comes to computers and stuff like that. So I got rid. So like when the space thing came in, I got rid of all of the MOVs, thinking I could convert all the MOIs into AVIs and just go on about the rest of my life. But the problem is that the .mois are not video footage. They're just the information that came with the video. So now I feel a fool about having to get rid of my old stuff. And digital archaeology isn't a thing yet, so I can't just dig through the crevices of the internet to try to find my stuff again. And it will always sort of bum me out that I just basically like lost all of years of stuff forever. So I'm also a little bummed out about the fact that now I had to do that whole thing again with all of my old, weekly vlog episodes. And, like it's like I really don't like the idea that apparently if you have too many videos is like what is it? I don't know how many videos it is, but I feel like now there's a limit to how many videos I can just have in a computer. And it's like like this is a gaming computer, so it's like I assumed that it was gonna have like more whatever, but it just doesn't feel like it does because I use this computer mostly for either video editing, which I barely even have the time to do, and I also do it to keep track of notes. I don't game, I don't like download a whole bunch of big stuff. It just feels like either I'm doing something really wrong or the computer just basically telling me, hey, by the way, unless you give me money, I'm not going to work efficiently. And I'm like, I have no money, as you've already can tell from the last two videos. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and try to. So if I have a much more somber tone, just know I got another problem that just hit me. Um, but yeah, with that being said, I said this in my podcast. I don't like talking about politics too much, and the big reason why is because, um, I don't like the like. I don't like talking about politics because like I feel like it's one of those things where we should like just sort of kind of the big reason why I don't like talking about politics is because it feels kind of like feudal, but also because it just feels like these are things that like a lot of the problems that we have could be solved if we actually like Just basic stuff, just basic civic stuff here. So it's just really frustrating. But it's just like I think the thing, my biggest issue when it comes to politics is that like the reason why I talk about it so much is because like imagine finally finding all the answers to the questions that you've been asking, and the answers all kind of boil down to just this basic concept, and it's like so if we fix that, everything works out. Everything works to the best of the community. It's like yes, but the only problem is that like you can't fix it by yourself. You have to, everybody kind of has to come together and agree that this problem needs to be fixed and then fix the problem. And it's like nobody wants to agree with that because everybody's too busy just saying, oh, the issue is actually too complicated for us to focus on, so we shouldn't focus on it. So let's just ignore it until we get used to it. And I call that ignormalizing. That's the word that I'm using. And I don't like normalizing things because I don't like the idea of ignoring stuff until it's made into the norm. That's not what we should do. Cause like my biggest problem is that like my brain, when I see something that I don't think is normal, my brain is just going to continue to scream, this is not normal. This is not something that should be happening, in 2023 of all cases. This is not normal. This is not normal. That's my brain is always just saying to me. And it's not like I don't like something, so it's not normal. It's not like I'm like, oh, wow. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that, like, they're still putting pineapples on pizza? This is not normal. That's not what it is, okay? It's basically stuff like, it's just basics. It's stuff that I feel like everybody should agree is bad. For example, child labor. You know what I mean? Something that I feel like we all can agree is not a good thing. Like, you're not gonna put a kid in charge of anything because that they're not going to that they're either not going to fix the problem or they're just going to make the problem worse. And it's not like, oh, they're just dumb kids, they don't know. It's basically they don't know. It's like they like, how they can't approach a problem. Like you can't ask a kid what's 2 plus 2 and immediately get them to say 4. You know what I'm saying? You have to teach them 2 plus 2 is 4 before they know, right? So it's like child labor. It's just wild to me how like, especially coming from the fact that there's an entire political party that's like protect the children, save the children, and it's like they got children working jobs right now. Can you protect them? Can you like they didn't even say anything in the Republican primary. With that being said, though, it's just like it's just basically like I feel like these are things that I feel my biggest problem when it comes to politics is always that like a lot of stuff that is obviously bad we just don't even bother to acknowledge as problems. And the problem is that like there's a lot of solutions to these problems that people just don't want to have because they think that the way things are right now is just normal, and it's not. Things are not supposed to be so expensive. Like water, food, shelter, healthcare, transportation. These are not things that are supposed to be out of your grasp just because you don't have the money to afford it. You know what I mean? Being homeless should not be a death sentence. Being sick shouldn't get you fired from your job. Being black shouldn't get you murdered by cops. You see what I'm saying? Like these are things that are not normal that we have made normal. And now people are like, well, maybe you should just stop being poor, homeless, and black and whatever. And it's like, this is not how this works. So that's kind of like my gripe towards that. I just don't like the idea that we are normalizing stuff that shouldn't be normalized. We should always like if you look throughout American history, a lot of stuff that we basically have now is because we protested back then. The entire nation has been motivated by the French Revolution. So it just seems kind of like, I'm glitching up. That means the video's probably taking too long. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's too wild, man. It's ridiculous. I don't like the idea that we have just basically said, you know what, this is the new norm. We should just be okay with the new norm. I don't like that because there's no such thing. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that. Speaking of politics, though, because I don't like talking about politics, but it's, until people start bringing attention to it, I guess I'll be the first. Speaking of politics, though, George Santos actually left, right? George Santos is out of the picture. He is, do you have George Santos is funny for me. Wow, I'm fat. Look at that. It's like, ugh. George Santos is hilarious to me because of the fact that you really got to take into consideration, like, do you have any idea how bad at politics you have to be ousted from your political position for lying too much? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, and it's like, let's be real. The only reason why they got rid of him was because he was gay. You know what I mean? It's because of homophobia. You know what I mean? And like, they even saw a picture of him in drag and was like, mm-mm. You know what I mean? That's basically what it was. It was because of homophobia. It wasn't because, he was also a bad person, but you have to take into consideration, like, if you're going to get rid of George Santos for the stuff that he did, then you should be able to, like, it should be easy to drop everybody else just that quickly. And I want George Santos to do the thing that he was basically meant to do in this scenario. I want George Santos to spill all the tea about Congress for a multitude of reasons. Reason number one is because he's already labeled a liar, so nobody's going to believe him anyway. So he could say anything about what Congress is doing, and who's going to believe him? Well, you would, because you're a dumb liberal. No, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't believe him because, he's a liar and he's a con man. But the fact is that, like, he's has experience in Congress. And Madison Cawthorn basically was saying some stuff. He got kicked out of Congress, but like not in the way that Santos did, for basically like releasing secrets. I'm just at this point right now where it's like, you got nothing holding you guys back now. Y'all got literally nothing is going to happen. There's going to be no retaliation. Just spill the tea. Say the stuff. Like, say stuff that we want to know what's going on in Congress. You guys can tell us. You know what I'm saying? Cawthorn, Santos, hook a brother up, man. Just spill it. Just spill everything. Just do what you were meant to do. Especially because the way that Santos got ousted is like the most publicly humiliating thing on the planet. This dude has all the ammo right now to just fire off on all cylinders and just say, the line of coke, the orgies, they're real. I'm just saying, dude, like he could do this. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like, he'll still be like a liar, but he'll be also lauded as a hero because, bro, this is like, spill the tea, George. Spill the tea. Money is starting also at random, right? This is another thing. I don't know specifically what happened, but I really want to take this time and kind of thank Principal Investing or whatever it was. When I was working at Olive Garden, I was connected with the Principal Investing thing or whatever, and when I got in touch with them, and I didn't get in touch with them, but at random they mailed me a check, and basically the check was, here, like, this is to help start up your retirement account. It was like $600. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again, but at the time when I got that check, I really needed it because I had only like $1 in the bank. I had $1 in the bank, and I told myself, well, looks like I'm starving for the next 2 weeks, and then I get this check, man. It's wild. You know what I mean? I don't know where it came from. I don't know if I'm ever going to give it again, but like, getting this money from this investment firm makes me realize maybe these investment firms aren't just all, just give us your money and wait here type of things. I'm still going to think that there are, but it's like, I hate these guys a little bit less because they actually did something for me. So it's like, if you guys can continue to do more stuff for me, I'll probably hate you guys lesser and lesser. But there's that. But it was just wild. Like I said, I really thought that I was going to starve for like the next 2 weeks. By the way, today is part of those 2 weeks. So it's just wild. I don't know what to say. I would say God works in mysterious ways, but that could also mean that but that could also justify God giving me cancer. You know what I'm saying? So here's a hoping I don't get cancer. Um, I might do another video later, but for right now, also I really appreciate the follows that I'm getting too. Like really, like I don't know what motivated you guys to like hook a brother up and give some give a brother some subscriptions because I was looking at that 365 and all of a sudden it's like wow 380 something. That's dope, man. Uh, but yeah, just know that this is it. Like, if you subscribe to my channel looking for something a little bit more than what this is, it's not going to be here. So, I really appreciate it. Thanks again. And love and peace.